Okay, let's see. Seems like that's good so far, at least. Okay. We are up and running. Perfect. So here we are again, a super late evening. So I figured I'd see if anyone's gonna pop in here once again. Super late. We're almost to 14,000 subscribers though, so it's a celebration worth being up for, I guess. Kind of an odd number, but I'm not going to downplay it like I'm upset. But here we are. So, we've got this Aerotech L1940 Propellant X that's going to go together here soon. And Shane is on his way back. It's his first L motor, his first 75mm motor. Well, I guess he flew an L. It was probably an L that John Clifton made him because it was a way spicier motor than we thought it was supposed to be. But anyway, first 75mm motor in the whatever. Anyway, he has to glue it. It's a Propellant X motor, super fast, super aggressive motor. You glue the grains into the liner, so he's going to do that. But he forgot to bring the inerts over. So all we have is the liners, or the grains in the liner. So he went back to get that at 11:50 at night. So here we are. So I just have to put new batteries on my sled. The Dured Max is ready to fly. My dad's flying his K1000 in the morning, and we don't have enough seal discs to go around. We do, but one of them is sketchy. It's missing a decent chunk right here. I don't know if you can see. There's like the groove for the O-ring right there, the bottom layer that it's just missing a little chunk, so it's a little concerning. So that's why I bought new ones anyway, but they're all currently occupied in all the other 75mm motors. Unfortunately, it's looking like we're running into some sort of spacing issue. It could be the liner length versus the nozzle shoulders, what we're hoping the issue is, but my dad's Kazan motor is still currently unable to be assembled properly. So it's looking like that motor's going to stay on the ground. Unfortunately, the good news is the Ultimate Dark Star is ready to fly. So, though the 4-inch Dark Star M flight is not likely to be happening, we do still have both the Ultimate Dark Star and the M1550 and my Honest John with an M650 and 4Js, weather permitting. We've got 2 more 75mm between me and my dad. Shane's flying one, and I'm going to take a couple other things out there. I'm probably going to bring my Big Daddy and take my K185, because that's just a fun, goofy flight. And flying motor deploy 54s is like crazy but fun for me. All I have to do is... Oh, I put a new rail button on it. Look at that. Look at me go. So I don't even have to do that. So, yeah. We've got some cool stuff we can fly. Unfortunately, it's just not the 4-inch Dark Star on an M motor that's 15 years old yet. But we will get there. So anyway, feel free to drop some messages into the chat or whatever you want to do. I'm going to go grab my sled real fast. And I'm going to get the mock certified electrical tape out and put my 9-volt batteries on there. Yes, in 2023. An excellent tip, actually, for anybody that still flies 9 volts like I do. These Duracell ProCell batteries, these are like the ones they use in hospitals and stuff. Grainger Industrial Supply sells these in bulk packs. I don't want to say a price because I don't want it to be way wrong, but I want to say it's a 12 pack for like $17 or something like that. $24. I don't know. It's really, really cheap for 9 volts. So this is what I've been flying because there's a Grainger right up the street from me. Grainger also has forged quarter 20 eye bolts for I think $279, which is crazy because I was always paying like $8 or $9 otherwise. And they have stainless steel 880-pound quarter-inch quick links for $1.27 a piece. It's amazing. It's probably one of my new favorite places. No lipo in 2023. I'm out. There's a stack of lipos up there for trackers and stuff like that for my GPS stuff that I still haven't flown. And actually, let me show you something. There's a lipo in here. I almost showed the front. It's got my address on it. I'm gonna not do that. There you go. That came with a lipo in it. A couple power perches. This thing is so unbelievably small. Look at that. This thing's so good though. 4 outputs, 2 programmable, or maybe all 4 are programmable. Air starts, whatever you want. I believe it has native off-axis detection. I could not even honestly tell you all the features that the Blue Raven has. And I don't even know that most people that own a Blue Raven could tell you all of the features, because I swear every day I hear something new that this altimeter can do, and it's absolutely nuts. So I got this guy. I got 2 power perches, and those come with LiPo batteries. So, and a mag switch built in. Super cool. What an awesome altimeter. I've wanted a Raven since it was like the Raven 2 when I was like 13. So when they dropped the Blue Raven, I finally decided to order one. What do you use as switches? Right there, baby. Twist those 2 wires together. There's your switch. What is the Red Max kit in the background? Is that an AMW? It is. Yeah, that's a FiberMax, the 4-inch one. Super cool. My dad bought it for me for Christmas like 4 years ago, and I finally put it together. I think I did it on a live stream. It was like a 1-day build thing. And the fillets are West Systems, but I dyed them black. They look really, really good. You can see they're quite beefy because I'm not afraid to grab it by the fin. But that looks super good. It was actually Rocket Epoxy dye that came with a Rocket Epoxy kit that I bought, but I did West Systems, and I just dyed it with the colloidal silica filler in there. Love that Millennium case behind it. Yep, that is my Gates Brothers Rocketry Millennium 15360. That is definitely up there in the prized possession collection of the rocket stuff, but on a promise to the person who gave it to me, as well as a promise to myself, because the Gates Brothers wouldn't be afraid to fly it, I can't be afraid to fly it. If it's going to die, it's going to die a traditional rocket incident death. I'm not going to try to kill it, obviously, but I really want to put an N1000 in my 5-inch Punisher. And I sold my black 15360 case to Taylor when I got that. So it's especially freaky with the N1000 because I know those sort of have a tendency to blister cases, burn through the liners. I wouldn't like to see that happen. But, you know, you can put 10 pounds of grease around the nozzle opening and the seal disc and cross your fingers and hope for the best. I have this Millennium case as well. My friend Robert actually just traded me this for my Roustech 2560. This thing is crazy. It looks like it's never been flown before. It's like perfectly polished, shiny, beautiful 2560. And this is the crazy part. It's an extended plugged forward closure, and it's matching. It's nuts. But if it fails, you now have an excuse not to fly it. Oh, well. It's getting flown. It's what Rocky Motor Hardware is made to do. I mean, really, a lot of my stuff is kind of rare. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I actually fell into a lot of it incidentally. A friend in Las Vegas was selling all of his RMS hardware that he had bought brand new. So I have, I think, a 240 through 600 set of Millennium, a 240 through 480 set of Desert Fire. I've got a Desert Fire 720 case. I've got an LDRS 17 green 600 case. Yeah, I sold my Desert Fire 1080, but yeah, he keeps his case clean. We were talking with him after he traded it. Yeah, it is so good. It's like he buffed it out. It looks really nice. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to take my securing strap, which is, just electrical tape. Actually, I don't know how many people go back and watch live streams, but if they do, they're also going to get this little behind the scenes treat. I'm going to post some of it on Patreon as well, maybe a little more in depth than Patreon. But today, I helped load up some 9-inch casting tubes and liners and about almost 1,000 pounds of AP. So, I'm not experienced with mixing propellant. I'm not involved with mixing the propellant on this project, but I do get to help with this project. And let me just tell you, if you're going to Balls this year, other than Bryce's projects and of course all the crazy R motors and stuff and everything that's going on over there, there's a project that I'm a part of that's pretty gnarly, and it is kind of the subscale warm-up for the project they want to fly next year. So, old friend of mine that I've known since I was probably about 13, he actually made the motor that I flew for my first ever dual deploy flight, which was my BSD Little John, which is why I bought that Mad Cow one, because I missed it, so I decided to get another one. But yeah, it was a good time, and it's going to be absolutely nuts. So yeah, there you go. 9-inch liner and casting tube set, and 9 1/4, somewhere in there. Use your deductive reasoning to decide how big a motor is that you need. 1,000 pounds of AP for mixing and testing, and 9-inch internal components and casting tubes and stuff like that. It's pretty gnarly. Ooh, wow. I'm pretty confident in those battery clips after that one. Okay. If you guys will recall, I think I did it live, or maybe I just did a video, but this is the carbon sled I made at Taylor's house when he gave me a piece of carbon fiber he had laying around. Boom, that's it. Popsicle stick holds the batteries in place. Just absolutely demolish it with electrical tape, and you're good to go. What's interesting is I see a lot of people, I used to do it too, and people will throw away their 9 volts after one flight. But basically, now I'll pull out the multimeter, and if it's over 9 still, which it often is, for multiple flights or months on end, I just rock with it again. 9.1, 9.2-ish, I start getting a little sketched out, but if we're still reading 9.4, we're good. Okay. Here we go. Boom, there's my sled. I don't even honestly remember what the settings are on the Stratologger, but I know I always have that set for my main charge. I am a little uneasy about this particular flight because this is the same altimeter I used, or the same sled combo I used for my M4500 flight in the 5-inch Punisher at Cloudburst, and my main charge on the Stratologger did not fire. I don't know why. I'm hoping it was just a bad E-match and it's not the altimeter. I have one more Stratologger sitting on standby, but that's actually going in the Ultimate Dark Stars electronics bay tomorrow so that we can fly it on Sunday. So tomorrow I'll know if this Stratologger is just having issues firing the main or if it was just a bad E-match. That was the first time I've ever had a charge not fire. So, a little unnerving. And at first I was thinking it was maybe because I put the charges in the tip of the nose and volume's a little low. Well, let's see. I'll just move a little bit closer, actually, because I think the mic is maxed out. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me move the mic out a little bit. But, anyway, Hopefully it's not the altimeter. Hopefully it was just an E-match. I've never had a rocket not fire a charge before. So, but Taylor has had a couple instances where he hasn't fired mains with Stratologers. So I think the Stratologger lore is wearing off on me a little bit. I used to really, really love them. And I mean, I even bought 8 at once one time because I knew I'd be able to distribute them to friends and stuff for what I paid for them. So this guy was like, "Hey, I have 8 from an old vendor." Or he was an old vendor or something. I was like, "Yeah, I'll take all of them." So I ended up selling all but 2. I hung on to 2 for myself. And these are the 2 that I have. My dad has one. Shane has 2. Taylor has a couple. And a friend of mine locally, Rex, bought a couple from me, who actually just sold them to Taylor because he's now a Egg Timer fan. Um, Hopefully this L doesn't take an L. Yeah, just you and me both, man. He's stressing out. Plus, Dr. Rocket case. Getting fewer and far in between. Matt just buried Taylor's Reds 3840. So they're dropping like flies. We can't keep killing them. But yeah, it's fine. It'll be all right. He gets super nervous and antsy with his flights, as you know we all do from time to time. I've become pretty numb to it, but I definitely get it on your first 75 flight. Dude, even the 12-inch Punisher this last flight, I was so for no reason confident. Like, um, I don't know. I was like, it's gonna work. It's gonna be fine. And I still was like overjoyed when it did work. But for some reason, it's sitting on the pad, me standing there filming it as they were announcing it. I was like, it's fine. Whereas the first time, I was absolutely terrified. I can hear the CNC lathe tool marks from that case, just you rubbing your fingers on it. It's pretty smooth though, honestly. I've definitely felt worse. Yeah, there you go. There's my electronics bay. That's good to go now. All I have to do is wait for my dad to fly his K1000 so I can take the seal disc out of his motor and build my K780 and we're good to go. And depending on weather and yada yada and everything else, how the Honest John goes and how I'm feeling and how weather looks on Monday, because this is Tripoli, Idaho's first ever 3-day launch, I might get the Red Max ready to fly again and put a K1800 in it. It's on the maybe list, so we'll see. AC just kicked on. You can probably hear that too. Stainless steel disc. So, anybody have any questions while we're waiting for Shane? He should be back pretty soon and we can get this L motor party started, but it is his motor, so I'm not going to dig into it. You see anything interesting? Does anybody want this white and yellow rocket behind me? This guy on the back wall. Have you seen Tech Ingredients hybrid motor videos? I have not, actually. Will you be filming this weekend? Yeah, absolutely. I actually have a really nice new 3D printed camera shroud that we designed specifically for kind of streamlining the process with using the GoPro Session. So now it's just 1/4 20 bolt holds the whole assembly together and onto the rocket. And I have a blank file that I can cut any concave into to be conformal to any size tube. And then I just throw it in the 3D printer and I can make one for any size tube I want. So I made one 7.5 as our test. We're going to put it on the Honest John. Dang, Eric Beavers with the $20 donation. Thank you very much, man. $19.99. I like it. Basically, nitrous system plus paraffin wax equals big thrust. Yeah, I mean, I've only actually ever seen, as far as I can recall, one successful hybrid flight in my entire life. It was Vern Knowles out here at Tripoli, Idaho. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm curious about, but not curious enough to, like, really dig into. The next avenue, if I was going to venture into something all in, would definitely be making my own propellant. Because I did do that with a friend of mine when I was about 15 or 16. He's back!
Yeah. How many people you got?
Seems like 8. Seems like a ton of effort compared to solids. Yeah, I mean, it's cool, but yeah, it is a lot of work. And you need like a 35-foot long rocket when you have a nitrous tank that's 4 feet long for a 3-foot motor. It's actually, fun fact, that's the reason the Hyperlocks exist.
What?
The Hyperlock kids,
Yeah.
they're called that because they were made long to fit Hypertech motors.
Oh, really?
The hybrids, yeah.
That's kind of sick.
Just like the Easy I-65,
Yeah, it was made for the I-65.
the Vulcanite H-76,
Mm-hmm.
Vulcan H-76. There's one more, I think, but I can't remember right now. But anyway, Shane's here, Postart Propulsions. So we're going to, we got a $20 donation.
Nice.
But we're going to super chat, dono. I don't know. Is donation the right? I mean, the good cause is more rocket videos. I'll call it a donation, not a 501c. Sorry, unfortunately, you can't write that off. But if anybody else wants to contribute, you know we are always appreciative. Okay, I'm going to probably adjust this laptop a little bit so we can film what's happening here. But this is your first 75mm motor build.
It is.
And your first time gluing a motor.
Yeah.
And everything's going to go perfect and fine.
I hope so.
You know where to start, right?
Open stuff.
Make sure the grains fit in the wire.
Yeah.
Before you...
I know, I saw it.
Exactly?
Yeah, there it is.
Isn't it nice? Things going like where I put them last and they're just still there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty neat. It's weird. I'm immediately touching your stuff. I was like, I'm gonna make sure he does it all. The L1940 is 3 grains, but so is the M2050. They're just long grains. Yeah. And I think Gary said there's 2 different propellant X's, and that's why the M2050 went up $150 and the L1940 didn't. I mean, it still went up, but it went up the same amount as all the other 3840 loads.
Yeah.
The M2050 was like $100 higher than all of the other 5120 loads, which sucks because that's like my favorite motor right now.
Cool.
So this has to be my favorite motor now. It's great, but man, over $400 for a 4-grain M. That's almost enough for a 3-grain 98.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. I don't know, man.
Motors are getting expensive.
Yeah.
Not like they always weren't,
Right.
but
Well, what's crazy is that like motor pricing right now is kind of on par with like what it was in the 90s
really?
or like early 2000s.
Like compared to income or what?
No, just like actual pricing. Rocket motors used to be wildly expensive.
Oh.
I mean, I can't remember. I saw a price sheet somewhere. Taylor and I were talking about this. But yeah, like numerically identical. Let's say an L850 is what? How much are those?
Well, I got this on Black Saturday,
Yeah,
so I paid
I know.
like $210.
Right. I don't remember the prices of anything.
I don't either.
We'll say a 250 for an L850. It was the same price in the late 90s, but subtracting inflation.
That is a tight fit.
Feel those?
Yup.
Yeah, not worth it.
Is it gonna be all 3?
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Push it out, but it's gonna be If that one's tight too, yeah, just pull it back out.
Yup.
Hopefully you can get those out.
Let me get the backside of this mallet.
Just be careful. See if you can shake it out first. Oh, those are really tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, push it out. Just be careful. Don't push it through the core.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow. I've never seen them that tight before. feel like this was like an urban myth to me.
What, that they would be tight?
Yeah, because I have never had it happen.
Really?
Every time until. What motor was it? I don't know. I had one that was. Oh, the M650.
The one,
They were
like
pretty,
the one you just built?
Yeah, they were pretty tight, and I peeled them. Because at first I was like, well, it's kind of good that they're tight because they're getting glued in. And I was like, no, that's probably a bad call. Because it's epoxy and you glue the faces, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I feel like that's probably not smart. So I peeled them. And I'm really, really glad that I did. Because things could have gone very, very badly.
Yeah.
What up? Live streaming. Rocket motor building. What rocket is this going into, he asks.
Oh. I've got a
fiberglass 4-inch Endeavor.
Yeah. Basically. Don't really want to say where it's from.
You keep that if you want.
Yeah, I'll dig it out tomorrow.
But it's a 4-inch, it's split fin.
We'll just say it's impressive that you got it.
Yeah.
That should be enough
I think the
context.
only reason is because I bought it on sale.
Yeah, it was already made.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes now. Dude.
It's still tight.
Yeah.
What?
You might want to peel too. All the way down to the brown layer. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
That might be a bit much. That pulled brown up with it.
Oh, that one should slide in nice and easy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me check this one before I peel it again.
That one's fine as long as you put it in last.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about that Glue All Max or using Gorilla Glue is that it doesn't dry very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to point out too, for all the people, for all the times that I've gotten comments for using Gorilla Glue, Carl in the video on how to assemble the O5500 not only says Glue All Max or Gorilla Glue, he says to wet the inside of the liner.
What?
Yeah, which makes it dry faster,
Yeah.
which scares me. But that's what he says.
Huh.
And I'm very confident in saying he knows more about rocket motors than I do. So
Yeah.
I just am having flashbacks to that Airfest I was at, where somebody brought an N5800 to Tim that they had gotten the grains wet, and it was glued in and stuck right about there. They said, "What do we do?" And the word Tim said, I won't repeat on the live stream for the sake of keeping it family friendly. He said, "Well, you're hecked."
He said the motor's ruined.
Yeah, in certain terms.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened. I don't remember who it was.
Someone's working on a rocket right now.
Building rockets at the same time as y'all. Right now, what are you working on?
Why did I lose?
Oh, yeah. You'll get that sometimes.
We get that on these big jobs.
Dude, this is a disaster over here. I won't lie to you.
Oh my god.
It's not pretty. Okay, well. Okay. The brown one in first. And then this one in second. And this one in last.
What was it? A sticker? Oh, I want the sticker. Oh, is it actually? Oh, I thought it was made to be peelable. Yeah,
Definitely not. Okay. I'm going to give you a bit of advice that I always forget to give myself.
Mm-hmm.
Grease the O-ring for this and put it on first. That's this one.
Uh-huh. Why?
That way when you have glue all over everything, you don't have to worry about actually getting glue on the O-ring to put it on the seal disc to put it on top.
That makes sense.
You need the nozzle out.
Yeah. Which two are the grain spacers?
Those ones.
These two?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna get a glove.
Yeah. Y'all should definitely check Ross for for nitrile gloves.
Yeah.
We found a whole. What was that? Like $2.99.
It was something
for
like
a box
that.
of 50.
Yeah.
A ridiculously good deal for nitrile gloves.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the way I do this, they always say
I'm gonna
here.
grease that O-ring right now.
Good call. This isn't the cleanest towel in the tri-state area, but I'm just gonna run it through it so any loose dust comes out. Even though there's a video of us not cleaning the liners on any of the motors for the 12-inch Punisher before we glued them in the hotel. C'est la vie. It worked.
What does that phrase mean?
Such is life.
Oh.
Upscale. Oh. Getting eBay set up. It's upside down, of course. What is?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Also, keep in mind all the grains are going in from the nozzle side, so you don't accidentally glue the seal disc in.
Yes. Let me see that rag.
I'm gonna wipe this off. Okay.
Yes, let me wipe off my glove. Glove.
So the way I do it is I glue the grain like halfway.
Uh-huh.
Use my clean hand to get it in the liner, but I'll just hold the liner for you, make that easier. Then I push it in so that the grain is in about 3/8 of an inch, half an inch, and then I put the O-ring. Well, yeah, you can do the whole grain though, since you're gonna hold the liner.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But push it in so it's about 3/8 of an inch. That way you can see the O-ring against the grain, and then use the other grain to push the other one in. That way you know the O-rings are seated well.
Okay. How much glue do I need?
Well, ideally, usually you want it to be kind of shiny, but that's not really applicable here since so much of it's peeled. So you just want, you know, a consistent layer, but not like a ton of it. Yeah, I usually do, like a good line of it, and then spread it all around. Yeah.
Good.
The way it is now, it's probably going to absorb some of it. So you might need a little more than that.
Yeah, that soaked in a lot.
Yeah, dude.
You want to hit me with some more.
Yeah. This one's pretty loosey-goosey, so we'll make sure. It's going to be the top one, so it's, it's relying on the other two being glued in well, too. So it's not the end of the world if it's not completely, perfect. But we'll try to make it so anyway. I'd even put a little more on there.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Yep. Now, O-ring. Good.
And this one.
Yep, I'm gonna set this down. Go a little heavier on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. We'll put a little more on it too. You pumped or what? How high is this gonna go? Like 12,000?
Somewhere in there.
Using the burb tracker.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure that. Oh!
Mm.
I've done it now. Okay. There we go. I like to twist them in. Alright. You're good. It's a little tight, but it's gonna move. It's alright.
Always better drip. It was like right over the mic.
Okay. Get that O-ring in. Good. Joining late, got cat up on my 24/7 rebuild. Someone want to clue me in on what motor we were building? Sure, it's a L1940 Propellant X. This is first 75mm motor, first bonded motor. So we're learning him the process.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that 24-inch rocket fly.
It's fair.
Oh yeah, you're not gonna be there.
No.
You'll be at balls though. As long as it goes okay at LDRS. Bryce's stuff always works.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Propellant eggs rock.
Yeah, I love it. We were just talking about how the M2050 was my favorite motor, but I don't know if it's a different flavor of Propellant X, but that one went up substantially more versus the other 5120 loads, whereas this one went up the same amount as the other 3840 loads. So I've never flown a 1940, and I actually just got rid of the one that I had in a trade deal for some GPS stuff, but I think I have to, by default, make this my favorite motor now. So this one's going to be a little
What about
tight.
the M1675 though?
Yeah, I love that motor too. We'll say motors that you can actually buy that are currently being produced.
Alright, that's fair.
I mean, if that's the case though, the M2200 is going to take over the M1675 all day.
Yeah.
Let me get one of those. Alright, this is going to be pretty tight,
Mm-hmm.
but it should be okay. I usually just twist it one way. Just like, keep spinning it. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have to push it. There you paper towel. Wow. That's with
Jesus.
2 layers peeled off. Okay. It's gonna go though, it'll be alright. We just have to make sure it's seated against the nozzle properly. And that it's not taking up any space it shouldn't be taking up. The seal disc and the nozzle both seat properly.
So I can take this glove off.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that feels. I hate it.
Okay. Nozzle in. Okay. We're gonna stand it up on the nozzle. And because those grains are tight, I'm gonna push everything down. How are we looking? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Seal disc in. And that's it.
Cool.
That's all you do. I like to, just in case, wipe any excess glue off that we might have got on the liner. Looks pretty good though. You make a lot less of a mess than I do.
Well, it helps when you have a second person.
Yeah, it helps a lot. I did the N2220 by myself and I got glue on everything. It was a disaster. It was
Glue the liner
it was
into
like,
the case.
Yeah, it was like up to my elbows. Yeah, it was rough. But there you go. We'll put this over here in this corner where I put the M650. Hold that up, it's scaring me a little. Just check one more time to make sure the propellant's seated against the nozzle. Let's pull it out. I know it's like perfect, I already said it is, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Put this guy here, and then we'll do the rest of the motor assembly in the morning. There you go. That's all it takes. It's not that difficult. It's just a little intimidating.
Yeah. Not too bad though.
First try anyway is always a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Super Thunder clutcher for Porthos 2 someday. Holy hell.
Oh my god.
What would that even be? I mean, M4500s all the way around?
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Yeah, Bryce, I have a K1800. If the weather's looking okay Monday, I might load that up to fly the Red Max again.
Mm.
Or it'd be kind of fun to put it in the 5-inch because it would go so low. But I don't know. I kind of want you and Dad to see that motor too. So
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't be there for that. Maybe I'll do K185 and the Big Daddy. That's fun, but it's like not that eventful.
Yeah.
You've seen a K185.
Plenty of times.
Yeah. What would you put in the middle of us?
K1800 is outboards.
For Porthos 2?
No, for sumo.
Oh, jeez.
Good God.
K1800s and an M45 or M6000 in the middle? Wow, that'd be gnarly.
Yeah.
The M6000 still scares me. I want to wait till I see a couple that have flown post-grain revision before I want to buy one. Because I saw 2 people attempt to fly them and both KO'd at Airfest a couple years ago. Dude, Terry was giving Gary hell on the mic too because he knew he was there.
Yeah.
He's like, and one more time, folks, that's an Aerotech M6000. I was like, you're just letting him have it. So that's why Taylor and I did 4500s.
Yeah.
And they were awesome.
They were pretty cool.
Alright. Do we have anything else we need to do tonight?
Yeah, I gotta finish my rocket.
Right.
I grabbed my 3-inch Punisher electronics bay, so I gotta.
Agreed.
Pull
They
this
need to be
layout
very
right.
reliable for put them near the Legacy Gauge projects. Would be one hell of a way to kill them, though. That is true. I was just talking about somebody pointed out the 15360 back there. I told him part of the agreement was that I will fly it, and if it dies in a traditional rocket fashion, it dies. I really want to do an N1000 in my 5-inch Punisher. I was talking about that too. Their tendency to burn through liners and stuff. So probably use a whole tube of grease on that.
Yeah.
I don't think we showed it really. The M2500. So the reason we switched to the N3300 in the middle of the Punisher was that Tim had warned us that he had seen 3 M2500s Kato, and then Andrew Grippo flew one like 20 minutes later, and it Kato'd. So we got really scared of that motor. So thankfully, Tim, wildmanrocketry.com, hooked us up on the N3300 because he didn't want to see us blow our project up. So we put it in the V2, and when we put it in the V2, we used high temp wheel bearing grease and absolutely demolished that liner. That case was real easy to clean. I assume Taylor did it. But yeah, that was cool. N1000 is hard on liners, but I don't think I've heard of many of them actually failing. Yeah, I haven't seen, well, we saw that one Kato, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the guy just didn't glue it. Because there was a guy that flew an N1000 next to Taylor and I at Airfest. Were you at that Airfest? Or was it the year before? No, it was the year before. When the guy was like, how many N motors are you guys flying this weekend?
Yeah.
And he was like, I have an N1000. And he was showing us a grain. He's like, look, isn't this awesome? And we were like, you gotta glue that. You know that, right? Taylor was like, you have to glue that. And he was like, what do you mean? And we were like, boy, we might have just saved you.
There was also the one that Kato'd right next to Taylor's or just before Taylor's 4-inch.
See, that's the one I'm thinking the guy didn't glue. Because it just like spit all the grains out, and they burned.
They were just like raining.
Yeah.
I got a sick shot of that though.
An N1000 without glue is not an N1000 for long. Yeah, yeah, I got a great video to prove that theory. But the guy, after we told him, he went in Wellington, bought a dowel and glued it together, and he put it in Ultimate Wildman. So he's really kind of pushing it on the thrust to weight.
Yeah.
That motor has a really good initial kick, but like, it was dead calm, so it was amazing. But like, if there was any wind, that could have been a problem. And that's when they lost it. When they had tracker signal from the flight
and then
line.
they just left.
But yeah, but they're very new, and I don't think they had much tracking experience. And I was willing to help them, but it was when I was trying to find my 54 that I lost the tracker signal on, because I'm pretty sure I put the main out at 20,000 feet on a super windy day. So that's still out in Argonia somewhere. But they had a tracker signal from the flight line. So I was like, that's got to be in this field. And we even saw, I have video of it under Maine. It didn't go that far. But they ended up leaving without it, which was crazy to me. A 6-inch fiberglass rocket with a 15360 with tracker signal from the flight line. And they're like, well, we can't find it.
Yeah.
But somebody did return it to them, so that's what I was like. Someone's gonna find it, but like you're gonna have to drive 5 hours to get it back because they were in Iowa or whatever. But
Jesus, nice
people, and I think they learned a couple lessons from that flight. But it was really, really good. It was super cool. It was a very slow and graceful climb to like 20,000 feet in a 6-inch rocket. Pretty cool. We actually just saw a local guy, Rick. He's our local Aerotech vendor. He flew an N1000 in his minimum diameter rocket at the last Tripoli, Idaho launch. Did I post a short? No, I didn't post the short of it because Rex said the F word. And I try to keep this family friendly around here. But yeah, it went, 37 and change?
Yeah.
In a pretty I mean, it's a little long from the perspective of like the absolute optimized minimum diameter, but you know, he wasn't like trying to set altitude records or anything. And I mean, when he was simming 35 and he got 37,
yeah,
a good day. It was great though, super cool. Really want to make it to Argonia because I'm so close, but it's just far enough to be difficult. It is worth it. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
When I went for LDRS 38, that was literally the week after I had quit my actual job and decided that I was going to go down this automotive journalism path. So I, was freelance and had no guaranteed income. But with my last paycheck, I bought a flight and a rental car so I could go to LDRS in Argonia. And that's kind of what started this whole Rocket Vlogs experience. So that's pretty cool. It worked out pretty alright. But yeah, I definitely didn't have money to go. But that's also where I met Taylor and Matt. So
Yeah. I didn't have money to go to the LDRS on the Salt Flats.
you drove your drift car that you literally just bought and spent all your money on.
Yeah. We were about to leave and I had no gas and I think $60 in my bank account. And so I filled up and went home. And it barely got home with that one tank of gas.
Yeah. Dude, that was an eventful trip for everyone too. That was when the excursion was dying.
Yeah.
So my parents almost didn't make it back. And then I had that motherboard failure on my phone. So I had no way to contact anybody because I had no signal. It's on the list. Hopefully my foreign charter still has some proper flights on it so I can fly that there. Yeah, there you go. Argonia is such a good place because the recovery, especially if you land in the Milo, it's a little bit of a rough walk, but it's like a half-mile by half-mile grid for just endless miles. So you can kind of use a tracker signal, or if you have GPS, obviously, that's the easy way to do it. But we just use radio tracking, and, you get the direction it's going, you drive that way, you drive up the road till you're straight out from there, and boom, just walk straight to your rocket. Ever flown an M1419? No, but it is now on the list since I have a 7680 case now. Yeah, it's a good motor. I've seen plenty of them. I also need to fly an M1939. Kind of want to do it in the 5-inch Punisher, but Taylor already did it. I really want to do it in the Paper Iris.
That'd be so gnarly.
It's such a 90s flight.
Yeah.
An M1939 in a cardboard rocket with plywood fins and a single layer of fiberglass. It would take it, though. They're half-inch fins.
Yeah.
All I have to do is not land it hard on a lake bed again. And glue the fin back on first, I guess. Using for my level 3 in a couple weeks. Yeah, that's sick. Sweet. 98mm level 3 flights are a flex, dude.
I should have done it.
Do you know what Bryce used for his level 3?
Yeah.
M1550.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good motor. I should try and find the video of that flight. Bryce, are you still here? It's on your YouTube channel, right? A 20-inch rocket with an M1550 in it. That was pretty sick. What an, ridiculous endeavor for a teenager. Just build a 20-inch rocket.
It was barely enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, that project was something I would have, talked about doing when I was a teenager, and then Bryce just actually did it. Is there a best order to buy, the big 70, 90 casings or just collect slowly since they are so expensive? My best advice for 75 is 5. Do 6400 with RAS.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you got 3, 4, and 5s. So you fly L's and M's.
Yeah.
98s, no RAS. Really, it's about what you can reasonably afford to fly unless you get a crazy deal on the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I've been fortunate to get great deals on all the hardware that I own, but borrow all your cases. That's true, Bryce. That's good advice. And Bryce has cases that he will loan you. So there you go. Save money for the reloads. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's hard advice for me to give to people just because my experience with borrowing hardware has, every time I've done it, ended very poorly. All the way back to being 14 when we borrowed the 2950 Costin case from Justin.
Uh-huh.
And my little the rocket I painted like Eddie Van Halen's guitar.
Oh yeah.
Kicked it out the back, no tracker, from like 3,000 feet. So we were out there looking for it, and you know the financial situation at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad and I are like, we can't leave until we find this. We can't afford to pay for this right now. And Justin, we told him that up front. He's like, it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna. It'll be all right. And we were standing out there, and Justin goes, "You guys haven't been doing this long, huh?" Pulls over, says that to us, gets out, walks literally 15 seconds, picks it up from the dirt, and goes, "I'm going home. See you guys later." I was like, "Are you kidding?" Like, I to this day wonder if he just got stupid lucky or if he like actually had that good of an idea where the case could have went. Because there's no way, right? But he walked straight to it, parked his car, got out, grabbed the case out of the dirt after Dad and I had been out there for like an hour, and just was like, "I'll clean it. See you guys later." That guy was nuts, man. I have 2 cases going out on loan next week. Great way to make high power more approachable. Yeah, I agree. That was I was telling Shane about that because we just got some, a good deal on a whole bunch of rocket stuff. All we wanted was the electronics and the black powder, but the guy wanted everything gone at once. So we sold all the hardware, but we have these big rockets now, and there's actually a guy who wanted to get into it, but he's not, his significant other shut him down on spending the money for it, so we're basically hacking up one of these 4-inch rockets to make him what we're calling a BS rocketry kit, so that he can build himself a rocket for nothing, and then we got all the hardware and everything he needs, but yeah, and then we have a 3-inch one as well that we're going to hack up that I want to give away on Patreon. Because I feel like I've been underserving the Patreon crowd lately just because I haven't been working on stuff. But, you know, it is what it is. They're still hanging around. Bunch of cool people.
Yeah.
Bryce is on there. And Nicole. But yeah, it's super cool. Definitely built a really amazing community here. But, yeah. Oh, man. What time is it? It's almost 1 a.m., right?
Is that an hour behind?
I think so.
It is 12:47.
Yeah, we probably are going to get rolling here. So, any last-second questions, fire them off right now. But we're supposed to be at my parents' house at 8. So... weather's not looking phenomenal tomorrow.
I'm gonna check that real quick.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But if we've got 5,000 or less, 5,000 or more ish cloud cover, we'll be okay. Well, you won't.
Yeah.
You're going 12. You look on your flights. Thank you, sir. The Honest John is the one I'm worried about most, but there's enough Pyrex pellets and BKN03 mixed into that thing that I don't think I should be worried at this point. The community in my state is good, but wish there were more people my age. Dude, it's crazy actually to see. I mean, Bryce and I were kind of among the group of teenagers from our generation of teenage rocketry, and you know, there was maybe a dozen of us. So it's really crazy to see going to launches and stuff, like when I was going to Tripoli Vegas and I was meeting people that were like 25 and under USTR. Yeah, dude. I mean, there's an abundance of younger people. It's super exciting to see. I'm very happy about that because very used to being one of the few people without gray hair at a rocket launch for the time being. I don't know how long I'm going to be without gray hair, but hopefully I got a few more years at least. But yeah, super cool. I love to see it. My advice on finding a community: build it, they will come. Yeah, absolutely. We're Rex, who's now the prefect of Tripoli, Idaho, is kind of branching out in a way that AAA Idaho hasn't really before, and I'm making Facebook events and sharing them on local pages and stuff, and telling people to come check it out. The biggest issue is, of course, the insurance required barrier, where people want to get into it. They want to fly a G motor, but they got to pay $70 to join AAA so that they can.
Yeah.
So that they can buy a $100 rock to fly a $30 motor. When you're coming into it from an outside perspective,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to just try a hobby out.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's why I want to just keep giving stuff out. We actually Joe Bowen, who used to be our motor vendor way back when, donated all of his stuff for a AAA Idaho auction for money to go back into the club. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that didn't get auctioned, and Neil Pike, who had it and was kind of managing all this stuff, ended up giving it all away. And there was that can't remember his name. I when I was LCOing, I flew 15 of his rockets that morning because he just kept loading them and loading them and loading them. But he was flying a bunch of Estes stuff, and that night he got one of those rockets for free that Neil had given him, and it just needed some basic repairs. He went home that night and brought it back the next day and bought a G motor and flew it, and now he's building a level 1 project with some of those parts that he got for free. I think maybe he already had a rocket. I can't remember now. Some people at my university do, which is nice. So there's some people that I've been meeting, which is nice. Yeah, just keep spreading it around, man. That's kind of, one of the reasons I wanted to start this channel was when I was young, all I wanted was those Rockets Magazine videos, and I couldn't afford to buy them, so I just watched the trailers over and over, and watched Voodoo Rocketry, Chuck on YouTube, and Tom Binford's videos, which I love. Tom Binford is still filming on that same camera. It's like a 1080i camcorder, and all the videos still rule. I love that guy's channel. So yeah, I wanted to put together, long format launch videos since nobody was doing it anymore. And on top of that, you guys all watch my builds and come chat live streams at 3 a.m. So yeah, I'm having a good time with this, so I'm glad that you guys are too. But we are actually going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hopefully next weekend I'll have a great video with all sorts of successful high power flights for you guys to watch.
Yeah.
Or a video of very bad things happening. But we're rooting against that.
Yep.